Alright, welcome back to Let's Play Pokemon Heartgold. This is episode number 49, and I don't think we're going to face the Fuchsia Gym today just because that'll give me something to look forward to when I get home from work tomorrow. How you doing, Kroot? Steadily poking at the ground. Alright, hope you're having fun. I should probably talk to my Pokemon a little bit more. I feel like there's all kinds of interesting text in the game that I'm missing. Kroot is listening intently to the sound of the waves. Aw. Kroot is an interesting Pupitar in that he seems to really enjoy water. That's cool how he has a little bit of a personality. It'd be really cool too if there was a person. I mean, there's a personality value. It's a hidden number, but if it actually affected what they said, and some Pupitars would like water, other ones would hate it, other ones would just react differently. That would be a really cool concept that I'm not sure whether or not they implemented. Also, before I forget, I did look up Lieutenant Surge's team to see what it was like in the rematch of Fire Red and Leaf Green, and there was no rematch in Fire Red and Leaf Green. I don't know what I was remembering. I guess it's 3 matches in this game, but you can only face the gym leaders once. You can face the Elite Four and the Champion twice, with better Pokemon the second time, and higher level, of course, but not the gym leaders. I did not peek at what he has for our rematch with Lieutenant Surge, though, because in this game you can rematch all the gym leaders, which I plan to do, because those should be some pretty fun late game battles. I think you have to get all 16 badges first, though. Unlike the guy with 3 Magikarps, this guy must be a younger fisherman, because that was super easy. Oh, you know what? I never talked to that guy and found out what the, yeah, I'll trade numbers just in case you ever evolve your Magikarp. Let me go see what the most important thing in life is. Sorry to keep you guys in suspense for a whole day. Electricity is the most important thing. Not sure I would agree with that. People seem to get along for a very long time with electricity. Don't get me wrong, electricity was great, and if it went away, I'd be super duper sad, because most of the things I enjoy doing take electricity. Not all, but most. And yeah, that would be really sucky. Also, just all the advancements of modern day society. But there are other things I would rather lose first. So we have 1 Rock Slide. Let me save it in case he has a better Pokemon. Like a Swellow. Taillow is kind of like the Pidgey, I guess, of Generation 3, or kind of like the Hoot Hoot. It's only a 2-stage evolutionary line. Taillow and Swellow, but he does not have a Swellow, he has a Fearow. So we're going to use Rock Slide here, and then I'll switch Rod to the front of our team again, which is good timing because Kroot is out of Rock Slides and a little low in HP, and also a decent level. Almost caught up to Leah at this point, I think 2 levels behind. Looks like Leah is going to be our benchmark Pokemon for a while. I do like how in these Let's Plays, I don't always have the same Pokemon as my most powerful. It's not always my starter or my pseudo-legendary if I have one. It kind of just, changes. Back when Rod's actually pretty low on HP. You know what? Olive, you're up. I always enjoy these routes, these long ones, because especially if you don't use items. I see you sneaking there in the bushes. Oh, alright. She didn't see me, though. Because you really have to kind of conserve your resources, and if you either don't have a lot of potions or choose not to use them in between battle, it can make some of these fights really interesting, and kind of forces you to really use your entire team. As certain members get tired, you gotta give them a break and switch in somebody else, so it's almost like if this was a real adventure with our Pokemon. But what I was saying before is that when I used to level up in these games with a full team, I would always rotate them out, so as soon as a Pokemon gained a level, I would then switch and use the next Pokemon in the line. So in that way, my team was always pretty balanced, and at most 1 level difference. Flying type versus flying type, let's do it. It's like the air battles in later generations. I'm trying to think if, because I do have my team picked out for our next Let's Play, which is going to be Omega Sapphire. Which I'm really excited about because I have not played that yet, and I haven't played a Generation 3 game in a very long time. I also really enjoyed the original Generation 3 games, Sapphire and Ruby, played those a lot. So playing the remakes with all the Gen 6 Pokemon and mechanics, really the mechanics, the Pokemon I'll be using, besides like a Mega Evolution, are going to be Gen 3 Pokemon. So it should be a lot of fun, and is Cherry still second? Yeah, let's see how this goes. And what was I saying? Also, a lot of my favorite Pokemon are in Generation 3, as I mentioned earlier, so we will be using a few of those. What was I saying about Generation 3? Oh, air battles. They have like those sky battles in Generation 6, rather, which is what the remakes are technically a part of. Let's use Shadow Ball against Kadabra, because it'll be the faster Pokemon. Earthquake will probably finish off that Psyduck, especially if it hits just him. And I imagine the Shadow Ball will one-hit KO Kadabra. Yep, very nice. So I'm trying to think if I have a Pokemon that can fight in air battles in our next playthrough, and I think I do, and I think it's going to be our strongest one. So that shouldn't be too bad, actually. I know in X and Y, or X rather, which I did a Let's Play of. That was actually the first Pokemon Let's Play I did. We had a Noivern who we used in air battles, which was fun. Noivern was definitely powerful, but some of those air battles were very tough, and only having one Pokemon makes them just that much tougher. We don't have choice specs anymore, so we are free to switch our moves up. Let's use Body Slam. Not that we'll really get a chance to, but Air Slash can miss, you never know. I probably should have used Aura Sphere there, or even Shadow Ball again, but whatever. Definitely overthinking this. Sure. Wouldn't mind doing some double battle repeats. Yeah, so for whatever reason though, when I start doing these Let's Plays, I'm not really as concerned about keeping my Pokemon at the same level, as long as they're generally within the same level range. I'm okay with that, because it's not like I'm going to ever think like I'm going to leave a Pokemon behind. Like all my Pokemon will be leveled like 53 or something, and one will be at level 40. I'm not going to let that happen. And I guess my biggest concern with that was always that I didn't want one Pokemon to fall behind and to have difficulty training against other current trainers. But it doesn't seem like that's too much of an issue if you have strong Pokemon and a good moveset. Especially not in this game, where the Kanto trainers seem to be at fairly low levels. High enough to get XP, but not high enough to pose too much of a challenge. In fact, overall I've been pretty happy with their levels in general. Besides maybe that one guy with the Magikarp. Feint is a priority move that will do, I think in this generation it only works if your opponent uses Protect or Detect. So again, it's one of those moves that has like really niche uses. You'd only use it in maybe a double battle. But in competitive doubling battling, a lot of Pokemon do no Protect. I'd say like at least 75% of the Pokemon that you see in double battles have Protect on their moveset. It's just that good in 2-on-2 fights. So Feint can actually be useful there, and it's more useful now that its base power was increased, I think in Generation like 6 maybe, and it always hits even if they're not using Protect, and if they are using Protect it just does double damage and breaks the Protect. Or maybe, no, maybe it doesn't do double damage. Okay, so it's not double damage like Pursuit. It's the same amount of damage no matter what. In the earlier generations when it was introduced, Feint only does anything if your opponent uses a detective or protective move. In later generations, it hits no matter what they used, but as long as they don't use like Fly or Dig or Dive. But if they also use Protect, it'll actually break the Protect, which is nice because it allows your other Pokemon to attack them as well. So it can be a pretty tough move, or pretty useful move in double battling. You know when your opponent's going to Protect and you want to defeat them through it, you can have one Pokemon use Feint and the other one use an even more powerful move and finish them off. Definitely a strategy that I've seen played well before. This guy is really annoying. One of those people that just catches 6 of the same Pokemon and trains them up. Like, as much as I love like the Dratini line and Dragonite, I'm not sure I could even train 6 Dragonite. And even if I did, at least that would be kind of fun, because you could have like some special Dragonites and some different movesets, and kind of like Lance has some that know Ice moves, some that know Fire moves. I feel like at least then you could make it fun. But 6 Pikachu, man, there's just not much you can do with Pikachu. Any hidden item here? Nope. feel like there was in Generation 1. Olive is holding something. Sure, what is it, Olive? Nope, Olive is keeping it. Alright, be that way. I like Togekiss' cry. It's a very interesting Pokemon cry. Apparently there were some unused cries in some of the Generations files. Either they replaced them with later ones, or they were for Pokemon that didn't make it through, or they were just test files. It's always interesting to see what's in the game files that wasn't used. You can find some pretty cool videos on YouTube where people explain all of the hidden tidbits that are left in the code. Sudowoodo is of course rock type, it's not a grass type. Don't let it fool you. So that is why you want to use a fighting type move like Aurasphere, or a water type move or a grass type move, and not a flying type attack or a fire type attack as you would use against a grass type. It's actually a pretty convincing or pretty effective disguise if you happen to not be familiar with it. Like the moves you would use against a rock type are pretty opposite the moves you would use against a grass type. Evening, how are you doing? This is Liz. Listen, listen. I entered the drawing on the 6th floor of the Goldenrod department store. Yep, I 10 times and got berries. Sounds like me, Liz. I can definitely relate to that. I think we got like maybe like 1 TM from there, and like 1 or 2 second place prizes. I've gotten a lot of berries though. Haven't been doing it recently now that we're here in Kanto. I think we can fly back, but I feel like that kind of defeats the spirit of things, so I probably won't end up doing that except to go to the Battle Frontier. And even that won't be for a little while yet. Lots of trainer battles here. Collect water. Don't let the fire go out. Look out for wild Pokemon. Let's go, Campfire. You do know that Campfire is not a Pokemon, right? Or did you nickname your Pokemon Campfire? Weasel. Probably not then, because that'd be really weird to nickname your Weasel Campfire. I guess like a Growlithe or a Vulpix or Chimchar or something. But yeah. Weasel is probably useful for a Boy Scout to have, because they can put out fires. But not to make them. I'll have to pay attention to what Pokemon these campers have. I guess Boy Scout is trademarks. They're campers and female campers instead of Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. Oh, not another Pokefan. Okay, Regal Pokemon. That sounds like, I mean, it could be, Pokemon is also plural. It's plural. Is it like a Slowking? Oh, okay, that's cool. Oh, I think I remember this guy. I think he has a Nidoking, a Nidoqueen, and a Slowking, which is really cool that it's like a Regal theme. So Air Slash it is. I like that. That's a little more formidable than 6 Pikachu. I bet when they had their Pokefan battles, this guy beats most of the other Pokefans. Not quite level 48. Slowking. There's actually a lot of Regal Pokemon. Could be a Vespiquen. Let's use Shadow Ball. Could be, what else? Nidoqueen, obviously, but there's got to be others too. Slowking, Slacking. He could have a Slacking. Probably doesn't though, because I think this guy was around Generation 2. What else could he have? I'm sure there's others. If you guys can think of any, let me know. But I'm sure I'm missing at least 1 or 2. Magikarp. Level 65? What? Is that a type? What? I feel like it's not a typo, but like, what? Like Magi, like the Magi, like is that kind of Regal? I don't know what he's going for here, but does this guy not realize he could evolve his Magikarp and be the most powerful trainer in like this half of the Johto region? Like the Champions Pokemon was only level 50. It's obviously going to be more powerful now, but like this is the highest level Pokemon you're going to encounter until we do a rematch against the Pokemon League. If he evolves into Gyarados, this guy could be taking on all the gym leaders and probably doing pretty darn well. Maybe not Lieutenant Surge, but I feel like he could get a gym badge or 2. If he trained up his Nidoking and Slowking, he could really be a contender here. But, I don't know, maybe his son just likes playing with Magikarp? Be a ruler. Well, you could be a ruler, dude, if you evolve that Magikarp. What is wrong with you? I don't remember that being there in Generation 2. Or even in previous playthroughs of Heartgold, but I'm sure it was. Like I said, I haven't played this game in, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 years at least. Alright, let's hop on the bicycle. How is our Lepaberry doing? It's growing. would be a nice time to have it because we could restore the power points of some of our Pokemon that are getting tired. This is actually one of the longest routes in the game, which makes it one of my favorites. A lot of people don't like it because it's so intense, but like I said, I really like the intense routes. It feels like more of an adventure. This guy's going to Rock Tunnel to get himself an Onix. Hate to say it, but Onix is not that great. Wouldn't recommend unless maybe you want to get a Steelix. Steelix is pretty formidable. Mega Steelix is pretty cool. Haven't seen one of those yet. Alright, Sandslash is ground type, so Air Slash it is. Aura Sphere and Shadow Ball are super effective against certain Pokemon, as you guys have seen. Here's an example now, but the reason I got them isn't because I want to have super effective moves against other Pokemon, it's mainly to have coverage moves. So that a lot of the Pokemon that resist Air Slash are weak, or at the very least take neutral damage from fighting and ghost attacks. And since Air Slash is really our go-to move and kind of the cornerstone of our strategy with Serene Grace and the flinching, I really wanted some coverage moves like these two. And then Roost is always awesome, especially on a bulky Pokemon like Togekiss. So overall, I am very, very happy with our moveset. Really, at this point, we have to teach Seed Bomb to Cherry, Stone Edge and Mega Horn to Rod, and then yeah, I'll battle him again. He was a pretty fun battle. You know, it'd be really awesome. Oh, I hope they did this. I hope in his rematches, like whoever designed this guy gave him an Onix and evolves into Steelix. That'd be awesome. Oh, I really want to like look it up now and see if he has that. I'll have to remember. What's your name? Doesn't say. Great. Okay. But that'd be so cool if he actually gets an Onix. That would just be like the most awesome thing ever. That might be a slight exaggeration, but still, it'd be pretty awesome. Alright, more trainers here, like this guy. Oh, never mind, it's Cameron. Alright, picture time. Now that we have the full team with us, of course, Crudo's not evolved yet, and he also doesn't quite have his full moveset. But he's getting there too. Everyone smile for a super low quality photo that looks like it was taken in like 2001. Or like, you know, 1821. There weren't photos in 1821. I think the 1860s were when the first photos or precursors to photos were invented. There are actually photographs of Abraham Lincoln, which you probably know, but it's kind of, you would think of Lincoln, you don't think of him as having photos, you think of him as having paintings. And obviously there were more paintings than photos, but he might have been the first president to have a photo taken. The first photo was a super long exposure. It wasn't actually a photo, it was, I forget what they're called, like the predecessors to photos. And it was taken over like, I think it was hours to get the exposure they needed. And everybody in the photo is really blurry because of the exposure. But there's one guy, maybe it wasn't hours, maybe it was just a couple minutes, but there's one guy who's getting his shoes let me restart. Getting his shoes shined. That's hard to say, at least for me, at 2 a.m. in the morning. But because he was having his shoes shined, he was sitting still, and even the shoe shiner was mostly still, so you can actually see them. So I don't know who that guy was, I'm sure nobody does, but somebody out there, your great-great-grandpa might have been the guy who was the first person to ever have their photo taken. That'd be cool if there was some way to track him down, but yeah. There's a novel. I haven't read it, I always wanted to read it. I heard it's good but not great, so I don't know, but it's called The Light of Other Days. I think it was written by the science fiction author Arthur C. Clarke. But the idea of it's really intriguing, that apparently they develop a way to use like a TV or some kind of device, and you can see anything that happens in all of recorded history. And if I could have like one present for like my birthday or Christmas or something, it would be that kind of device. I think that would be so awesome. I mean, you could use it for all kinds of stuff, obviously, but I would just love to be able to like to go back in time and like look through history and see like what actually happened and who was that guy, and you know, who killed Kennedy, and who was the whatever that lady in the scarf was that nobody knows what happened to her, who had the record. Oh, Suicune, when you least expect it. Not only is it, oh, you know, it'd be really cool if like everywhere you saw Suicune, you also saw Cameron. Wait a minute, we did see them both in Cianwood. I don't think we've seen him in other locations though. It'd be really cool if like, just like there's a theory that like that old man or whoever it is Hoenn is a Ho-Oh in human form. If like Cameron was supposed to be like Suicune in human form. Alright, anybody out there who can make a YouTube video, go make like a conspiracy video about that, because I want to see that be a thing. Maybe that's already a thing that somebody else thought of first, but that'd be so cool if like if the devs actually like planned that to be a thing and like kind of set that up. But I don't think that they did. I don't think that's true at all. Anyway, are you gonna fight me, Yusine, or are you gonna just keep running around? Oh, it's gonna give me a clue. A hilly place near water, somewhere north. Oh. Oh, no, he said I'll challenge you, but he said who will find it first. What's wrong, Joe? To be honest, I would like to keep this information to myself, but I want to be an honest trainer in front of Suicune. That's why I'm sharing the clue with you. Yeah. So a hilly place near water up north. Oh, I know where. I bet I know where it is. I don't actually remember this, to be honest, but I bet we can check out our town map here to verify. It's got to be up here by like Bill's place, which seems like a cool place to encounter Suicune. And he said up north, hilly, water. I mean, where else could it be? That's got to be it. So we will definitely make our way up there at some point. If you have cut, you can take a shortcut, but that's okay. I like these fights. Let's do a few more, shall we? Let me tell you, I had a hard time catching my prize Pokemon. But anyway, just think about how cool that would be to, instead of having to watch like historical shows, which are great. I like historical shows, don't get me wrong, but you could actually watch like the history of Rome unfold. That would be, I mean, that would be just amazing. And people would like, I don't know if it would be, I'm sure there would be drawbacks as well. I really want to read the novel, because I'm sure there are drawbacks explored in the novel as well. But, like, disagreements at, like, work where you're like, no, you definitely told me that, and then your coworker's like, no, I didn't tell you that. Then, you could, like, look on one of these devices and you would just know. Or, like, if and there's just so many situations it'd be like the ultimate fact-checking device. It'd be so amazing. Of course, there's privacy issues too, so I'm not saying it would be all good, but I think it'd be cool. I'd be willing to make that sacrifice. Anyway, again, random musings with Airveil at 2 o'clock in the morning, as we defeat all kinds of random Pokemon that are not giving us that much experience. Let's go ahead and change out again. I'm gonna bring out Cian just because he has a little more HP than the others. It'd be nice to get to Fuchsia without healing. We'll see how this goes. I might have to choose between either healing up my team or using the Pokemon that are already at a high level, like Leah and Olive. I think I'd rather heal in that case, just because I really want to get a team to level 50 so we can do some more Battle Tower or Battle Frontier in between. Battle Tower was the very first facility of the Battle Frontier, added in Pokemon Crystal, actually. In the same location where the Battle Frontier is now. I don't think there might have been a Battle Tower but I think there was a Battle Tower in Ruby and Sapphire. And then Emerald was the first one that had the whole Battle Frontier. And then I think maybe like Diamond and Pearl went back to just having the Battle Tower, and then Platinum and then Heartgold and Soul Silver have the whole Frontier again, but it's an upgraded Frontier with different facilities. So yeah, that's the short history of the Battle Frontier. I'm not sure, I think Generation 5 is like the Battle Tree and like the Battle Skyscraper or something, I don't know. So it's not quite as dynamic and not quite as exciting, but it's something. There are so many trainers here. Maybe we should heal up and come back. Nah, let's keep going. Let's put our team to the test and find out how much metal they have. METTLE. In case you were confused. Zigzagoon. Yeah, these are school kids, they won't be too tough. If I'm not mistaken, this is the route where a lot of school kids like to go on field trips, so you'll encounter like a bunch of school kids and like their teacher. And the school kids tend to have pretty unimpressive Pokemon, so this should be some easy XP, not too much XP, but nice quick knockouts. Hopefully they won't all ask for my phone number. Like, they're school kids, they shouldn't even have cell phones. Although I guess I'm a 10-year-old in this game who also has a cell phone, so. But I feel like if you're like a double battle, sweet. If you're like a random trainer out there taking on the world, the least your parents can do is give you a cell phone. There's no way I would let my 10-year-old go out there and explore the world on their own, Pokemon or not. Maybe if they were with a bunch of friends and like they all had powerful Pokemon, even then I don't think I would. The only way I would do it is if they were with like gym leaders like Brock and Misty, who are like, you know, teenagers, I guess, or late teenagers. Then I would probably be okay with it. But alright, let's use Flamethrower, and I'm gonna risk a Petal Dance. Why not? But at the very least, if you're gonna send them out, give them a cell phone. But these are like school kids, they're probably like 7 or 8 years old, they're out with their teacher, they don't need a cell phone. Let kids be kids, right? Alright, who will it attack? Sandslash, good. I wonder if it's a random enemy and not a random person. So knock on wood, we haven't had it attack our ally yet. Not that I'm complaining. They have 2 more Pokemon. Roselia, that's got to be the teachers. It seems like a teacher Pokemon somehow. And Golbat. Doesn't seem like a kid Pokemon, but I guess it is. So, naturally, Magmortar knows all the great moves here. So let's use Flamethrower. Oh, right, we're locked into Petal Dance. That sucks because Roselia is Grass and Poison, and Golbat is Poison and Flying, both of which doubly resist Grass. So, not a great move to be locked into in this scenario, but I didn't really have any way of knowing what Pokemon they would send out next. And we'll still be okay. Yeah, look how little that did to Golbat. Roselia is pretty cool. It's a level 3, it's a Generation 3 Pokemon. But it's kind of in a way like a throwback to the Generation 1 Grass types, where Generation 1 was very unique in that there were very specific type combinations. Let's try to heal up. Probably won't even get a chance to, but if we do, that'd be cool. Like you see a lot of rock and ground types, you see a lot of poison and grass types, a lot of poison and bug types, a lot of poison types in general actually. A lot of normal and flying types. There were just certain type combinations that the developers seemed to think made a lot of sense. In Generation 2 onward, you just don't get that. You do get some normal and flying types still, and maybe a water and poison or water and psychic here, and I don't know. There's not really that same kind of prevalence like there is in Generation 1. And a lot of those types that were so common in Generation 1, like Rock and Ground, aren't really used that much in later generations. I think it's because they kind of want to balance things out a bit. And they're like, well, with Rock and Ground, we've already explored like a kind of default Pokemon with Geodude. I don't know why I opened my inventory, but let's use a berry while we're at it. We've already explored some normal and flying types. We already explored a rock snake, and then we had like the kind of the more powerful humanoid rock Pokemon with Rhydon. So they do add Rhyperior, and they do add, I want to say there's one more rock and ground type that I can't think of at the moment. Oh, obviously it's on the screen right now. Larvitar and Pupitar they add. But I think that's it. After Generation 4, there aren't any more rock and ground types. So Roselia is cool, getting back to Roselia, because it is a grass and poison type. And Budew actually evolves into Roselia. And it also gets... so Roselia was added in Gen 3. It's baby Pokemon Budew, and its evolution, Roserade, which is actually pretty powerful. A little frail, but fast and strong. Oh, I wish we had cut. Then we could cut down this bush and face that trainer. Oh well, I might come back off screen or something, or maybe on screen, or I probably won't. I'd love to face like every trainer in here, but is it really worth it to face one trainer? Not sure it is. So anyway, I like Roselia because it's a throwback to those old grass and poison types like Vitrabel and Vileplume that you saw, and Bulbasaur's line that you saw in Generation 1. Parasect was the rare Generation 1 grass type that is not grass and poison. It is grass and bug. There's also Tangela, which is pure grass. And I think that's it. That's all the grass types there were in Gen 1. I'm liking Cian's moveset here. My previous Magmortar, I think, had the same moveset, but with Psychic in place of Thunderbolt, which gives you a little better neutral coverage, because against like Dragon types, or some Dragon types, Cian would not be very effective. Like Dragonair, for example. Ooh, a Ditto, that's cool. We'll probably just one-shot it, unfortunately, but I could use Sunny Day to let it transform, but then we might lose the matchup because its stats will each equal ours, so I don't want to waste my HP. Not going easy on anybody, even this is a school kid or a super nerd, I forgot who we're facing. School kid. Alright. I feel like I was saying something, but whatever. Ah, you can get gym leader's numbers and talk to him outside of the gym. This guy actually is probably good to get his phone number, because he might give you tips about where to find gym leader's phone numbers. Oh yeah, okay, good, he does. Sweet, that's awesome. What's your name? I have no idea, but when you call me, I will try to remember to take your calls. Ooh, I can sneak down here. Do I want to? Not really, okay. How you doing, Cian? He's feeling great. Good. Glad to hear it, buddy. I'm not sure if I said this. I feel like I already did, so forgive me if I'm repeating myself. But any of you guys remember the old Christmas cartoons that like ABC Family, or probably lots of channels, used to have on like the 25 Days of Christmas, and they would play the old like claymation and animated Christmas movies? That was like a huge part of my childhood. The reason I'm bringing that up is because Cian, for whatever reason, reminds me a lot of Heat Miser from The Year Without a Santa Claus. I don't know if anybody else thinks that, but now that I mentioned it, you probably are like, oh my god, it does! It's just like that fire demon, jolly, fat dude. I don't know if Magmortar can sing, but for whatever reason, whenever I see Magmortar, I always think of the Heatmeister, or Heat Miser, whatever his name is from that show. Apparently there was a remake, which was actually pretty good, and like it was in like the early 2000s, and they, not a remake, like a sequel. And I think they actually got some of the voice actors who were still alive to play their characters again. So that's pretty cool. Double battle. I don't really like using Cherry in double battles. Let's use Rod. So I might have to check that out maybe like next holiday season. Kay and Tia, do you know which one I am? I have no idea. I wouldn't know even if you weren't twins, and just introduce yourself as those two because I've literally just met you. Oh, so that's interesting. I never really thought about it before, but most twins don't have the same Pokemon. Not that I would expect them to. I'm gonna use Sunny Day so I can Solar Beam these Quagsire because grass is their only weakness. Let's use Close Combat. But you know how like parents, you're not supposed to dress your twins in the same like clothes. You should give them their own identities. Apparently, they turn out better that way. I guess people have determined. I mean, it makes sense. You want people to have like their own individuality. But I wonder if it's like the same thing here, where you don't want to give them, like, don't give your kids the same Pokemon either. Let them make their own choices. Of course, they may just choose the same Pokemon anyway. But all right, we are doubly yawned. That's kind of unfortunate because now Magmortar is set up and about to fall asleep. But I don't want him to be asleep. Because sleep is really sucky. So I would switch into Cherry, but she's low on HP. I don't want Crew to switch into a water attack. I mean, I could use Leah. Let's bring in. Oh, Leah, crap. Can I undo that? Cancel. I can. Sweet. Because Sunny Day's up, so I don't want to. I don't want to do that. Let's bring in. Oh, Cherry is so low. Ooh, okay. Let's bring in Olive. I was worried they're gonna use like Muddy Water or something that's gonna hit both of my Pokemon. All right, Cherry. I'm gonna bring you in and hope that you don't faint here. If Cherry doesn't faint, I can use Synthesis in the Sunlight, which is going to heal up almost all of my HP, 2/3 of my HP. I'm wagging my finger right now because I'm so excited. But I got outpredicted by a pair of little girls. Oh, I should have stayed in. At least I would have got one attack off them before falling asleep. Oh well. I'm just going to stay in now because they're probably going to keep yawning, and if they don't, whatever. At least I'm going to be able to get to heal up. And I will use let's use this Shadow Ball. Finish off the. Oh, which one's the left one? I can't. I think it's the top one. I don't know. Hopefully, I'm gonna use Air Slash just in case. Oh, don't run. Well, I can't run. I got scared for a second. My brain remembered that I didn't want this battle to end more than it wanted me to remember. Quicker than I could remember that. You can't run from trainer battles, obviously. So I'm gonna fight Air Slash and Synthesis. Okay, let's do it. Would you look at the time? I guess I'll have to end this episode pretty soon. I was hoping to get to Fuchsia, but like I said, this is a very long route. So I attacked the wrong Pokemon, so I'm glad I used Air Slash and not Aura Sphere, which probably would not have been a 1-hit KO. So Olive and Cherry will be asleep, but I don't know if the twins had another Pokemon. I think they did. These are actually pretty tough little girls. Or they could be, but they just keep yawning. Maybe they are programmed to use Yawn until your Pokemon are asleep, and now they'll use something else. I would think they'd be programmed to use it until your Pokemon had the Yawn condition on them. But maybe that was hard to program, and somebody just didn't have time and said, whatever. It's just a random trainer fight, it shouldn't matter. Oh, and now they're putting out my sun with some rain. I see what you're doing there, Quagsire. Sneaky, sneaky. Hopefully, this is going to be unfortunate because my Pokemon can't wake up at the same time. Oh, you know what? Maybe they can. I'm going to use Roost, even though I'm at full HP. Because I really want them to both wake up, and then I'll one-hit KO Quagsire. See, right there, if I would have knocked out Quagsire, Cherry would not have had a chance to attack, and therefore would still be asleep. I guess I could use a berry. I don't mind using berries outside of battle, but clearly I'm overthinking this. And also, somehow at the same time, underthinking this. I can air slash Cherry. Let's not do that. There we go. Okay, that's what I was hoping for. And I think we were rapidly approaching our max turns of sleep anyway. And speaking of sleep, I should probably get some max turns of sleep myself. As much as I'd like to keep playing. Yeah, I'd actually have fun battling you too. Let's do this again sometime, shall we? Alright, so Fuchsia City is right to our left there. We do have a few more trainer battles to do. Maybe I'll go heal up off screen and then come back here. Ooh, an item. Maybe not, we'll see. But either way, thank you guys for watching. I hope you are having an excellent day, or if you're just starting off your day, then I hope you have an excellent day. And I hope you meet me right back here tomorrow for more Pokemon Heartgold.